and now we're trying to find a way past Lamy, and I think I made it harder for myself than it actually was, because it even looked like he was trying to get out of the way. And now we break past him, but then contact! Lamy hits us on the left rear, and rearwards we go into the wall. Well, and immediately we are rejoining, and this is 1 position lost, 2 positions lost, 3 positions lost, 4 if you include Otelli, because we've been briefly past him as well. Now we are alongside Alexander Frey, who just manages to stay ahead in his courage. We're down to P8 in class. We briefly go by, but we don't get the corner, we run wide. And then it's Frey fully past. Oh, and this is a bummer, and I don't feel quite confident. It was quite the heavy impact in the rear that we had with the wall. So, yeah, I decide to maybe fix aero damage on the next stop. As there, again, it feels like the car is a bit loose on the rear. So I feel like I lost a bit of aerodynamics. But then again, I thought, like, well, are you really gonna have a long second pit stop and risk, like, falling out of the points entirely? We're now 8th. 8th overall as well. As now everybody has made their pit stop. The LMP2 cars just came in at the end of this previous lap. Yeah, so now we are trying to find a way past Alexander Frey. And I decide not to change aero, because after all, as I regained my confidence, things did feel fine again. And there, Ayari and Frey are hitting a bit of trouble with one of the Chrysler Vipers. Frey getting a terrible exit on towards the run here, towards Sunset Bend. This straight has a name, I just forgot. I do apologize. But we are up to P7 now at least, and the next car up the road is Sahil Ayari in the number 17 Pescarolo. And we are already quite close to him. And there is some more lap traffic now in the way. This is one of the Lamborghinis. This might actually be Peter Cox, or is it Marco Apicella in the other Lamborghini? Well, doesn't matter who it is. They compromised Ayari, and we are getting a fantastic run on towards the hairpin. We have the inside line, we are later on the brakes, and we are past and up to P6. Now, we are recovering quite quickly, and we are not too far away from Stefan Otelli, who was the car that we've been just ahead of before Pedro Lamy took us out. Maybe this is just revenge for Lamy for me replacing him as Alessandro Zanardi full time in our 1994 season that we're currently doing. I just denied Lamy his shot there at Lotus. But now we have to be a bit careful, because Ayari is back with us again. He's showing himself in the mirrors, but we are still close to Otelli. And usually we are quicker in a straight line, but we're too far away, and still, I went with my decision to not overtake into the double waved yellow flag zone that we have in Sunset Bend. Even though it's just the Porsche of Anthony Beltoise facing the wrong way. Since, I think, lap 3. So he's out of this race. Oh, and Artelli gets in trouble with some GT1 car as well. One of the Corvettes, do they leave us the room? Yes, they do. This is very important because that has gained us a couple of car lengths in one corner alone. And then again, the run towards the hairpin. Again, it's the other Corvette now getting in the way of Artelli, and Artelli even has to stay behind for a moment. We find a way alongside, and now this is 3 wide running towards the hairpin, but even ahead of the braking zone. We are past. Oh, Artelli hasn't even made it past the Corvette, so this has been fantastic. And Jonathan Cochet in the other Courage is not too far away either. So, things are back on track. We managed to recover from that spin. And still, we were hunting down the number 13 Courage now. So and out of Sunset Bend we go, and this is now an interesting situation because there is the noble GT2 Porsche that gets in the way of Cochet, or Cochet decides to go the wrong way. He wanted to go down the inside, but this is where the Porsche went to avoid us, and that is another position gain thanks to traffic, because Cochet just made the wrong decision to go to the left there. The right was actually the correct way to go, and then go past the Lamborghini on the left, GT2 and GT1 traffic at the same time. And yeah, in the pits there is some busyness as well going on, because that is Emmanuel Collar that we've just passed. We're up to P3 overall and in class, as we just go past another of the GT2 Porsches. And we actually were able to stay out 3 laps longer, so we have now a massive fuel advantage over the Pescarolos and the Courages. But then, now we are in against the Audis. Well, it doesn't look too great on fuel. They are much more efficient. Again, Alan McNeish, stationary in the pits. He is still way down after that spin. And slowly, the sun is beginning to set as again we drop behind some of the LMP2 cars, but we come out in P5 in our LMP1 class, and hopefully this should have been our last pit stop of the day. So we will be cycled through to the front as soon as the LMP2 cars make their second pit stop. That should happen quite soon. But actually, we were beginning to catch some of the LMP2 cars now on the track as well. we will be fighting them for position. Well, they are fighting for position on their own. But the interesting thing is, they are not even that slow in a straight line. So LMP2 quite close to LMP1. Nothing compared to later days of those classes, or even today, if you compare Hypercar to LMP2, which still exists. Yeah, the LMP2 formula was much closer to the LMP1. So in the corners, this is where they are much slower, as we just get past one of these two. The next one is Valhilla for G-Force Racing. But on a straight line, they're not even too slow, and you see that here. Now in the corners, this is where they are losing a bit. Oh, but then there is another GT2 Porsche getting in the way. Oh, and the sun right in our face. We didn't even properly see what was going on with these two as they made contact, and I therefore made a bit of contact with that Lola up ahead as well. Double waved yellow flag. Well, for a change, I almost ignored it into Sunset Bend, which you know why it is called that. We go as, well, yeah, ghosting luckily is a thing when someone is coming in the pits, as Hillebrand was slowing down right on the racing line as he made his way into the pits. And this is interesting. So in LMP2, the V8 powered cars, they are much more thirsty than the turbocharged cars. So we're up to P8, fourth in our class, after everyone did make their pit stop. So yeah, it's just the 4 turbocharged LMP2s that are still ahead, or mingling with the LMP1s. Oh, double waved yellow into the hairpin. Oh, and good news, this is actually a very good double waved yellow, and this time it will be over. There it is, green flag is out, and that was Tom Christensen in the Audi. There is an opportunity for us. We are briefly up to P3. He tries to stay ahead, round our outside. He tries to go, he gets the better exit, is early on the power. Oh, there's even a bit of contact, I think, going into that left-hander there. And Christensen, for now, stays in position. But we are in the fight for the podium positions. And the prediction is Tom Christensen will definitely make it to the end. But I think we will be able to do that as well if we save a bit of fuel. Which I'm already currently doing. But now, as I'm in a fight for position, I won't be doing that too much. Not a great exit there for Christensen as we race into the sunset. And we are past. And look at that straight line speed difference. Our Judd engine seems to be so much better than the Audi engine in that car. More lapped traffic, hard to identify then, with the sun being so low right now. As more cars are diving into the pits, but this time no positions gained. We're just making it past some GT2 cars that are now multiple laps down. Well, and let's see if we can keep this podium position, even if I will have to save a bit of fuel. Well, and you see right now, really the last rays of sunshine that we're getting for that day. Sun is even lower. Sunset Bend is now a blind corner. And even more tricky than it is anyway. It seems to be a corner where you can't get anything right. And I think that WF yellow flag, well, it will be just for the Porsche that has been there all race long. Well, it wasn't. Emmanuel Collard had a spin in that corner as well. And we are... This time I decide to go for the wrong side of that car. And unfortunately, that means that I am not up to P2. There still is a chance. Again, one of the GT2 Ferraris might help us there. Collard finds the better way through. I thought there might have been a bit of room then on the outside. So for now, we have to stay behind. So we start another lap. The sun is now nearly gone. And it will be properly dark in a couple of minutes. For now, we use the better vision that we have of the track now, because no sun that is trying to burn our eyes away. It was especially bad here and into Sunset Bend. Oh, but there is another car, another Lamborghini trying to get in the way, or, well, trying to get out of the way of Kolar. We dive down the inside into the hairpin, and this is us up to P2, and this is brilliant news. But can Kolar do anything about it? Be careful with him, really be careful with him. He took out Alan McNish early this race, and he's now properly out of contention after running in P2 after the first lap of this race. But now this is looking fine. We're fully ahead, having gained a couple of car lengths. But this is now, yeah, it is still the same track as these 65 minutes before. But yeah, it is a very different feeling, I can tell you, in Twilight. And well, it will only get worse, as now there is a chance for Kolar. He tries to dive down our inside. We leave him the room, but he compromises his exit there, and we gain a couple of car lengths once again here on the straight. Approaching another Lamborghini. A teammate helped us earlier this lap to move up to P2. And now, look in my mirrors. Look in my mirrors. Kolar is in the pits, so he can't even put us under pressure. The Pascarolos and the Courages have to go for a 3-stop race. So we might be through. Or are we? Because this is me now in what I think will be my penultimate lap of this race. 12.3 liters of fuel still in that car. The thing is, I need about 6.5 liters per lap, so I'm already heavily fuel saving. Honestly, I don't know where JJ Lehto is, who is the car leading this race. And I don't know where Tom Christensen is. I'm trying to have a look in my mirrors, because I think Christensen can't be too far away, so I can't take it too slow now. But I think we should be fine on fuel, unless, of course, Lehto has a massive gap and will be able to do another lap after this one before the time runs out. It's 1 minute as we go into the final corner. Some more traffic for us to clear. No problems here though. And then 52 seconds as we cross the line. 1.50. Let's just hope that Lehto is not a minute ahead. Otherwise, this could become a problem with the fuel mileage. But what a beautiful night I have chosen there for my first night race in virtual reality. In VR I could actually see some stars. It was a starry night even. Yeah, on your screen you can't probably see it too well. It's actually very different now seeing this on a regular screen than driving in VR. But yeah, beautiful experience this nighttime running in VR. And it was actually going very well. I mean, Sebring, of course, there are some floodlights around the circuit, so it's not fully dark. You can't compare it with the Nürburgring, for example, where it's properly dark around the Nordschleife at night. And even in Le Mans it will be quite the different experience, because around the public roads there is not much light. So you just have your headlights. Here you have a lot of illumination around the track as well. Past the Lambo and a Ferrari we go again, as we are on the back straight for what hopefully will be the final time, because I'm really out of fuel. I can't possibly do another lap at somewhat racing speeds. So around Sunset Bend we go. Let's hope that Lehto has already finished, and yes, he has. The checkered flag is out, and we finish in P2 in Sebring. What a race! I would not have expected this. after being in the wall after like 20-25 minutes. Great result for us, and it was on a knife's edge. Because look at this, we jump ahead in time. This is me on the cooldown lap. I just managed to make it round at very, very reduced speeds. And with 0.2 liters, we managed to get into the pit lane. But we even finished the cooldown lap, which I think is good news. And here then are the full results. Lechter wins, and he was just 5.3 seconds ahead of us. Christensen only 3.3 seconds further behind us, so we couldn't have afforded to go much slower. And then it is Otelli and McNish. McNish recovers to P5 thanks to the great fuel mileage of the Audis. So the ADT Champion Racing Audis, they will be quite the fierce opposition. Out of the first 5 positions, 4 of them are Audis. We're the only ones to break that. Collard, because of that extra pit stop, only finishes P6. So pace-wise, the Pascarolo is on par with the Audis. But what concerns the fuel consumption, they have a big disadvantage. Then Evans, for Chamberlain Synergy Motorsport, wins it in LMP2, a turbocharged car. He even mixes in with the LMP1s, because then Fry is the highest placed courage. And then we have Ayari, Cochet, Brière, Belmondo, and Michael Krum, our teammate, only P13 behind 3 of the LMP2 cars. And he also had to do a third pit stop, so he didn't manage to do it on a 2-stop as we did. And then in GT1, Pedro Lamy wins it despite taking us out, so I still hold a bit of a grudge against him, because maybe, without that spin, could we have won it? Did this cost us 5 seconds? Well, who knows? Peter Cox, an old acquaintance with whom we did the FIA GT Championship 1997, back then in the McLaren F1, he finishes on the podium with his Lamborghini. Disappointing race for Corvette, who started first and second in the GT1 class. And then in GT2, it is Bud Schleisinger for Risi Competizione who wins it for Ferrari. Lieb in the lead Porsche for Orbit Racing finishes second, and Fabio Babini for GPC Sports completes the podium there. Of course, let's also look at the standings, but yeah, no surprises there. In LMP1, Lechter leads ahead of us, and Tom Christensen. Then, much more interesting maybe, in LMP2, the first 4 all turbocharged cars. The higher fuel consumption for the V8s did really hurt them this time around. It may be different in other races, but yeah, they are on the back foot after Sebring. And then, well, in GT1, same picture. Aston Martin 1 and 2, Peter Cox in P3. And then here we are, GT2, only 7 cars, so everyone scores at least 2 points. Even Beltoise, who parked his car after 3 laps in Sunset Bend. But yeah, these are the standings of all the classes. And that has been it for the first race here in the Le Mans Endurance Series 2005. Our next race will happen at Spa-Francorchamps, the 1,000 kilometers of Spa, and that one will be in 2 weeks' time. Subscribe to not miss that, leave a like if you did enjoy this video, and I hope to see you all the next time. Until then, goodbye.